Okay, Emma, so here we are on a special sofa on a cold, wet day, but we're going to talk about the common good. So let's just start with the idea of the good. Do you want to think about some things in the area where you live in Newnham that you just simply think as good in themselves?
Well, the lovely scenery and the lovely kind of nature area. How lucky we are that we can just be around nature and have loads of fresh air, and we can just relax and be peaceful. And at the same time, it's only like a 10-minute walk away from town.
Yeah. So we're combining a couple of things
Yes.
there. There's the beauty of nature, but there's also the goodness of being with other people.
Yeah.
And I guess, would you agree that those are both common goods in the sense that we hold them in common? You know, they're not like, you don't have to go through private property
Yeah.
to get to where the greenery is. Yeah, so we're lucky. I've heard a story that the reason why we got one of those pieces of common ground, the Lammas land, is because it used to belong to the church, and then
the
Yeah.
vicar donated it. Yeah.
the vicar donated it. So apart from that's to do with the actual ground we're walking on and what's built there and things like that. Do you think there are other things that we hold in common that are good, that we hold in common
You
together?
mean we
in
take for
Newnham?
granted?
Either we take for granted or that we enjoy
Well,
together rather
I
than
think we
privately?
definitely take some luxuries granted. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, compared to the rest of the world, we have a piping system in our house. We have
Yeah.
good heated, sheltered houses.
Yeah.
But we don't really notice it. We just take it for granted because we're so used
Yeah.
to it. But if you moved a person from, say, Vietnam or Bangladesh here,
Yeah.
they would be absolutely overwhelmed that they could just have a house with heating and an actual pipe working and
Yeah.
like a whole house.
And not have to go and fetch the water from somewhere
No.
else, yeah.
Or share a bathroom with another.
And I guess it's common in that sense, in that if you think that, okay, you could think that there's nothing more private rather than common about, say, you know, a kitchen or a bathroom. But in the end, we've all agreed to have the common pipes, if you like, that run the water in, you know, under the roads, and we all get annoyed when the roads get
Clean.
dug up. But
Fresh water,
Yeah.
clean, fresh water.
Yeah.
I think that the things that the common good of everyone around the world, which I hope, well, most of the people around the world, is food and drink and
yeah,
shelter.
yeah. And those things are all kind of interrelated, I guess. The way we consume food here affects the way food is grown in other
Yeah.
places. And
The amount of waste.
yeah,
We consume so much, but then we kind of leave a lot of waste.
yeah, yeah. There's been this campaign going, hasn't there, about called Airfall. Saying that, you know, actually, if we simply looked after the stuff we've already got properly and didn't waste it, we
Then
could feed
the
the
world
world.
would be a better place.
Yeah, we could definitely
And I think
sort of
that
feed the world.
that's what God wants us to do.
Yeah, yeah. I think we sometimes think that that we start with, if you like, the private and personal goods, and then we think of the common good as like a sort of charitable add-on. But actually, as you just pointed out, the really, really basic things are the things we all have in common. And that we need to have some kind of common system, like we have a common, you know, a common system of piping for all the water going to the house, or a common system of electricity coming down, you know, like delivered on the pylons or the underground for the heating of the houses. You know, we have to agree to do stuff together
Yeah.
in that sense.
I think that the common good for all of us is that we have a house. I mean, you might be a posh person who lives up in Gothway, who has a big house. You might be someone down here who has a terrace house, but we all have houses. So-
Exactly, yeah.
And we all
Yeah.
live in really nice places.
Yeah, and then we have spaces within
Yeah.
that, I guess, that we keep
And we
in
all
common
have
together.
outdoor
Like the church or the
spaces.
pub or whatever we share.
And no matter how small, I mean, there's some big houses in Cambridgeshire and some really big gardens.
Yeah.
But and then there are some really, quite normal sized houses and some really small gardens. But
Yeah.
one of the things I find in Cambridgeshire is that we all have a garden. Like mostly every house has a garden and a bit of outdoor space for, say,
Yeah.
a family of young children to run around in. And
Yeah, which you need, don't you? I mean, you need some kind of...
or a bunch of like a family with teenagers to kind of play sport and stuff. So
Yeah.
it's very
And we've got that, but we've also got, what I really like about being around here is the amount of ground that we have in common, in the sense that, like Lammasland, the playground
Yeah.
area there. So even if a family hasn't got much of a garden at home,
they can always go
they
there.
can come out and there's this huge place.
Especially great in summer because
Yeah.
not only can you go to a park, relax, the kids can entertain themselves. You can also, there's also a swimming pool
Yeah.
and an ice cream and drink stall
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
and a kayaking place. It's brilliant.
And that's right, yeah, and people kind of get to know their neighbours. Yeah, so I guess we, just like we had the mixture of, if you like, the countryside and the city being so close, we've also got this mixture of the private spaces that we need to be on our own and ourselves,
Yeah.
and the public spaces. Well, it's really good to have
Also-
both of those.
May I just say that we also have, it also, the fact that people socialise in Lammasland, it shows that you don't need to be in like a really posh town area or something to like socialise with people.
No.
You can just socialise anywhere.
And actually, when people have got other things in common, like say kids, or like I notice, obviously people with kids just get on, they've got kids the same age. The kids make friends. It doesn't matter what social classes the family, the migrants from, they recognise the kids. But I found the other great thing, I mean, I use all of that common land to walk my little dog. And I immediately have that in common with all the other people that walk their dogs. And again, I meet people I might not otherwise have, met or known at all. Because, we are using common land for a common purpose. That gives us that common good. Okay, well, we'll draw stumps there. Thank you very much for coming and talking on our
Thank you.
couch.